Say, what's up, guys?
Hiya, guys.
Hiya, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a very sad day. We have a lot of bad news. Yeah, that's how I feel about this Jeep build, and so does my son, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so it's been a few days since I finished up the build. I've come across quite a bit of bad news. This build is to a point where things are getting a lot more detailed, and I'm starting to find out a lot more things that are wrong or bad. And anyways, let's just get right to it. So I took it to the alignment shop. They got they said the axle lined up actually really well. It's still binding both directions now, which is a good thing. I went to a shop in town called Rubicon. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They were unbelievably helpful. They had one of their techs come out that builds some huge, really expensive rigs. Actually, two of their guys. Anyways, they came out, they helped me out. They really pointed me in a lot of directions of what could be going on. I kind of had my speculations on what was going on. I obviously got these axles not knowing a whole lot about them because the guy who had them before me didn't actually install them onto a Jeep. They were sitting. Who knows how long they were sitting. Now that I'm doing and digging and getting a lot further into this build, I'm starting to realize that I'm pretty certain these axles sat for a good amount of time, which means the ball joints, I'm almost certain are shot. The wheel bearings are shot. The U-joints on the axle shafts are shot. I believe that when I'm trying to turn, my U-joints are binding. They're not actually letting it actually turn. I'm thinking they're seized. That would be, I guess, the best word I can come up with. They're not functioning the way they should, and I think just from sitting out in the elements, they said they were stored inside. At this point, I'm kind of thinking that they probably weren't. So I'm thinking that they're binding on the U-joints, as well as I think that the ball joints are bad because it's a lot. I can hear the wheel bearings grinding too.
Daddy.
Yes, baby?
I'm gonna get.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my son's playing, so it's my time to watch him, so he's gonna be in the video, whether y'all like it or not. Anyways, so it's just been a series of finding things out. I'm gonna end up having to go to Hydro Assist. I want to fix. First, I should be able to drive this thing even with the steering box not being powerful enough. It should be at least able to drive decent with struggle. Now, I say that in a very lightly way only because I'm not going to actually drive this thing with the steering box the way it is, but it should be able to drive with that steering box once I get higher RPMs, and I should be able to turn it. So the issues I'm having are not just my steering box, there's a lot more underlying. So backtrack, a few days ago, I'm like, I got this thing aligned, it's all finished, everything's buttoned up. I'm like, I'm driving this thing to town, and I live on a hill that's very steep going into town. It's very nerve-wracking. I was like, I'm driving this thing to town. So I drive it into town, and it is a mess. I mean, it was the worst experience I've had driving a vehicle. I don't want to get into too much detail, but it was not ideal. It was not safe, and I have kids, and if I put my kids in this car, it has to be right. So I just, at this point, I'm getting all of the parts and pieces to just get this thing totally fixed. Here comes my son.
Dada.
Yeah, say hi.
Hi.
All right, come over here. Go play over there, buddy. Go play over there. So I'm getting all the parts and pieces. It's going to be probably another few weeks. The build is, for all intents and purposes, done, but as far as drivability, it's not there. So I'm gonna go ahead and order these parts. It's gonna take a week or two to get some of them in. The steering box might be actually a few, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on who I go with. So it's not gonna be an overnight thing. I'm still gonna do videos on a cost analysis breakdown. I'll probably do a cost analysis breakdown on and give you guys an idea of what a set of these axles would cost if the ball joints and blah 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 were all good and it was a good set of axles that didn't have to have this kind of work put into them. My guess is the person who had these axles before me, they had it gusseted, sleeved, and geared to 513. They probably ran a lot of big tires on, or they probably ran big tires on this and put them to work. And my guess is they started to wear out the ball joints, they started to wear out the wheel hubs, the axle shafts, and then they said, all right, instead of spending all this extra money on these, I'm gonna upgrade to bigger axles. And I think that's why they took these out. That's just my guess, I don't know. But anyhow, I know this is kind of a long, not super exciting video. It's super upsetting to me because I want this thing to be on the road. I wanna go camping, I wanna drive it. Unfortunately, this is like quite a few steps back. And if you've been watching this series, everything's gone extremely well up until this point, but now is the time of detail work, and this has to be done right. So I'm sure it may not be all of the things that I'm fixing that's broken, but I'm going to go the extra mile and do those things for safety for me and safety of my family. And also, I just want this thing to be done right, and I want to be done with it. I don't want to have to think about all of these little things here and there down the road. So I'm doing it right. Other than that, this is a big update for this video. I'm sorry it's not super exciting. I'm in my chill clothes. I've been drinking beer, relaxing. I'm actually taking a break from this. This thing has sucked the life out of me for the last few months. So I'm gonna take a week off of it. I'll still post a video next week. Just waiting on parts. That's really all I can do. I can't start really on breaking this axle down until I have all of the parts. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing it more than once, and I don't want to do that. So I will be making a video on all of those repairs and updates. So stay tuned, and maybe this weekend my plan is to actually do a cost analysis breakdown and a full walk around still. So definitely check back for that. I appreciate all of your support. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all this weekend, and Nash will too. Say bye-bye, Nash.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we'll see y'all later. Peace.